Okay, welcome back to Mondays with Martha! Today's guest is Dawn Alford, and she works for the Georgia Council on Developmental Disabilities, and she is the policy director. But today, our episode is all about Medicaid. So, let's get cracking! Okay, Dawn, thank you so much for coming on Mondays with Martha.
Well, thank you, Martha, for having me. I'm honored that you invited me to be your guest.
You're welcome. Okay, so our first question is, what is public policy?
Well, for me, the way I think of public policy is kind of in a couple of different ways. One is when we actually think about making laws, right? We have laws federally, in Washington, D.C. they make laws for our entire country. Here in the state of Georgia, we make laws on the state level. And then, so the lawmaking area is one way that we can think of public policy. But then another way is kind of rules and regulations, or kind of like when those laws are made, they have to be implemented. And so many times rules and regulations about those laws are made as well. So public policy, kind of in short, is just the way we think about structuring rules and laws that we have that kind of govern our society.
This is a very interesting topic. I'm very interested in this. How have you been doing advocacy in your job?
Well, so I serve as the public policy director at the Georgia Council on Developmental Disabilities, and in that role, during our state's legislative session, I'm at the Georgia Capitol every day during that time. So that, for those who may not know, every year, starting the second Monday in January and then going through about March or April, our state lawmakers are at the Georgia Capitol, or some people call it the Gold Dome, making our state laws. And so during that time of year, I'm at the Capitol literally every day, working with our lawmakers, talking to them about issues that affect the disability community, both trying to be proactive in encouraging them to pass laws that will help our community, but also helping to educate them on things that might unintentionally cause harmful consequences to our community as well, so that we can kind of work to prevent bad things from happening. And then during the rest of the year, when we're not in the legislative session, then my focus is on getting ready for the next legislative session. So I talk during that time of year. I meet with legislators a lot in their districts. I also go to board meetings for different state agencies. When we talked about how laws have to be implemented, then many times there are meetings that are held where they talk about laws that have been passed and then policies that various state agencies want to implement. And so I always try to make sure that the voice of our community, the disability community in Georgia, is always at the table, so that our issues are well represented.
Yeah, but that matters a lot. That does matter. Our voice always matters. Okay, so our next question is, what are home and community-based Medicaid waivers? So why are these Medicaid waivers important?
Right, so in short, home and community-based services, or waivers as they're called, are just the services that we receive in our home and community to help make us independent. So, for example, for some people that means help with getting up out of bed or getting dressed, getting to work, going to your job. It's just whatever kind of things you need help with in your daily life to be independent, and it's those services. And the way our Medicaid system is set up is we have what's called these home and community-based waivers that help us to get those services to be independent in the community.
This is really, really amazing information. So about Medicaid. So what are the Medicaid wait lists, and what can we do to fix these wait lists? Because most of the people, are on them for like a long time. So what can we do to fix these wait lists?
Right. So with Medicaid, the default option for people with disabilities who need some assistance in their daily life is that care be provided in an institutional setting. So when I say institutional setting, I'm talking about like a skilled nursing facility, a nursing home. And I don't know about you, Martha, but I never want to be in a nursing facility.
Me neither. That's not my quality of life. I want to be independent.
That's exactly right. Me too. And so many people are like me and you who want to be independent in our community. And so, but the problem is that Medicaid puts the default option on the institutional care. And so what that means is that states like Georgia have the option to provide that care in the community or not. And so what ends up happening is we have these wait lists, long wait lists. So in Georgia, we have our now in comp waiting list. That's the waivers that we have for individuals with developmental disabilities. And that waiting list, Martha, is almost 6,000 people long.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's, and it's so upsetting to know that there's people who need and want to be independent in the community.
What can we do?
That's a great question, Martha. And so what we can do is use our voice to tell our state elected officials about how important it is to that we get some more funding to essentially fund enough waivers so that we can end the waiting list altogether. We want to make sure that
let's end it.
That's right. Let's end that waiting list.
Let's end it.
We want people with disabilities to be able to go to work, go to school, and have the life that we want, right? In our community.
Right. Yes, of course. This is really, really advocacy. This is what it means to advocate, people. Okay, so the first thing on the question is, what is the Disability Integration Act?
So the Disability Integration Act is a federal law, forgive me, let me take a step back. I wish it were law. It's not law yet, but we're working to achieve that. We are in our community, we want to make it become law, but it's a bill, forgive me, that has been proposed in Congress, and we want to make it a law. And what it does, in short, it would shift that bias toward institutional care to be more toward having that care be in the community. It shifts the pendulum a bit to where it makes it so that people like with disabilities, like me and you, who want to be independent in our community, we have more of a right to get that care in the community and not in an institutional setting.
No more of that. I agree with you, Dawn, completely. How could it solve our waiver waitlist problem?
If we could pass a bill like the Disability Integration Act into law, then it would help us to address those waiting lists and get people out of institutional settings and into real homes, having real lives in the community.
Community is a blessing, isn't it?
It is. And
Yeah.
you know what, Martha? Not only is community so important because that's where we want to be, but I know a lot of people have the misconception that you're safer in an institutional setting, but we know that's just not true,
No,
right?
it's not. It's not.
Because when we're in the community, we're with our loved ones,
Yeah.
our family, our friends who care about us, and they make sure that we're safe when we're in the community. But that's really hard when people get separated from their friends and family in an institutional setting.
Yeah. I'm with you on this, 100%. So, our last question is, how would you, Dawn, define disability?
That's a great question. And, you know, really when I think of the word disability, it's just, I think about it in two ways. So, on a very broad level, disability is just kind of, it's a way in which you might use to describe, some people identify as having a disability because maybe they do things differently. It's really about, to me, a way of doing something differently. But as someone who does public policy advocacy for a living, really what disability is a way that within different systems, disability is defined by different systems so that people can access services and care that they need. So just for example, we were talking about the now and comp waiver. Each Medicaid waiver might have its own definition of what a disability might be so that a person could qualify to receive that care.
Yes.
So really, because in life we all have strengths and weaknesses, don't we? Like we all have gifts and we all have things that we're better at than others. So really, disability is just a way to connect to services that you might need, and it really just depends on which service or which policy you're looking at as to how that particular policy may define disability.
This is the perfect answer. Okay, Dawn, I want to thank you so much for coming on Monday this month. I really think that you've made an impact on my show. Thank you so much for everything. You made such an incredible impact. Oh my goodness.
Well, I want to thank you, Martha, because what you're doing is so important to help empower everyone to advocate and lift their voice like you have. And I just want to thank you for having me and for doing this show.
Anytime, Dawn. Okay, thank you again for watching Mondays is Not Done. If you have any ideas for any future episodes, or if you would like to be a guest, please feel free to comment down below. And please also remember to subscribe, like, tell your parents and anyone around you in this community. Please do that. For viewers like you, thank you for watching Mondays Not Done! Scene.